In this episode of Ask the Spirituality Experts, your host, Russ Littau, discusses the topic of what if everyone isn't against me, and what if I'm not doing anything wrong? Hello, my name is Russ Littau, and for the last 10 years, I've been a passionate, disciplined, and obsessed student of life, understanding what spirituality means, like what it really means in a very visceral, practical way, not just in airy-fairy understandings and fluffy philosophies, but how can I take that and glean from that practical, powerful tools that I can use to manage my life experience. And along my way, I've discovered there are other people just like me who have questions, wonderings, frustrations about how to live a life of spirituality. Ask the Experts is a radio program designed specifically to answer your questions. Over the last 10 years, I have gleaned a fair bit of information simply because this has been my passion. This has been my calling. And it is my desire, to the best of my ability, to answer your questions and give you powerful, practical tools to live spiritually in a practical world. Hello and welcome to another episode of Ask the Spirituality Expert. I'm your host, Russ Littau, the founder of the Healing Center and Convergence Reiki. Our website is www.healingcenter.ca, and that's center spelled C-E-N-T-E-R. .ca. The whole theme and the purpose of the Ask the Spirituality Experts series is designed to answer your questions, your wonderings, your topics that you may find interesting, confusing, frustrating, and whatever other word you wish to put in there. And I was thinking about this on the way to the studio this morning to record these. I sure don't claim to have all the answers. And so, when I talk about answering your questions, I have a answer, and it may be the one that just fits for you and sort of puts all the pieces together, and it might not be either, and that's okay. I just finished teaching a Reiki Masters workshop this past weekend, and one of the things we talked about on there that there is no one right answer, and I think sometimes that's what we do. Our focus is, so what is the right answer? And I think in so many cases, maybe in every case, there isn't the right answer. There is a answer. And, those answers can resonate with you. That answer could resonate with you. But you know what? I found tomorrow what might not. And I think that's the thing. And another thing we talked about was how truth is always evolving. And what is true for us today, might not be tomorrow. Shoot, it might not be in the next minute. Now why? Because things are always changing. If we knew everything, everything there was to know, then, well, I suppose maybe we could say that, truth is a constant. And maybe we could say there is one, right answer. But one thing I'm very, very, very confident is that, I don't know all the answers, and I don't know everything. And so, for me, all I really do is, I guess, share my thoughts and share what I've discovered. And hopefully that will help. The topic of this program is, and I was going to say this is often a challenging one, and I guess they all are in varying degrees. And the title that I've given this is, what if everyone isn't against me? And, in this show, I'm going to use the label universe. Now, any of you that have followed have attended any of our workshops or followed any of our media, for our purposes here, I really don't care what label you use, whether it's, higher self, source, universe, God, or Earl for that matter. For our purposes here, the label isn't near as important as the relationship. The label I'm using is universe, and that can you can give whatever connotation would fit for you for that. So the question is, so what if everyone, what if the universe, what if fate, again, isn't against me? And I guess maybe in our better days, if you will, in our up days, we could say, you know what, you're right. Everything has a purpose and everything works for a reason, and all those affirmations, sometimes platitudes, I think, that we use. And I read something, I can't remember whether I read it, but basically that it said that whenever this was related to boating, and it said everybody's a captain when it's fair weather. What I thought is that the truth. It's really easy to follow these somewhat lofty principles when everything's going smooth. But what about when it's not? And what about during those times that it does feel? And, I've been doing this for quite a while now. I started this journey a little over 10 years ago, and on a full-time, you often heard me say that I'm a passionate, obsessed student of life, and for 5 years. And, I still have those times where I go, why? That things just don't seem to be working. It's like they were just flowing smooth. Everything was, kind of doing what it was supposed to do, and everything was happening right, and all that kind of stuff, activity, and oh, yeah. And then it seems like it quit, and you're going, okay, so what did I do wrong? What did I change? What, did I miss something? Maybe I'm not meditating enough. Maybe I'm not doing my affirmations enough. Maybe I'm not whatever, fill in the blank, kind of thing. And something that I've learned over the years is that sometimes we're doing everything right. Sometimes we aren't doing anything necessarily wrong. There are just those times that there's the appearance that, things aren't going our way. And I know that's probably for some of you, the most politest way we can frame that. You may have some other words, to explain your things aren't going my way right now. And I find it's in those times, it's in those times where things really suck and nothing seems to be working, that, maybe you're doing nothing wrong. And I find the tendency is to look and go, okay, what have I done different? Maybe like I said, maybe there's something I should be doing that I'm not, or I am doing that I shouldn't, or whatever it may be. And that could be true. But I find often you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing everything right, or just as you should be doing it. There just happens to be the appearance that, things aren't working right, And again, that things aren't working right for many of us. I can include myself as sometimes the most passive way of describing it. Sometimes they're just really going for crap, and you're frustrated, and you're mad, and you're discouraged, and whatever words you wish to use. And I find it's in those times where the easiest commentary to give is, again, the what am I doing wrong? And then the second one, and maybe the bigger one, is, why is the universe against me? What did I do to you? I've been doing everything right. And now, so what did I do to make you mad? What did I do to kind of get on your bad side? Because it seems like everything that I've enjoyed, everything that seems to be flowing, all of a sudden has stopped. And if you look at that from the external, that makes perfect sense. And if you looked at it from completely physically oriented vision, that would be a very accurate observation. At a physical level, they maybe aren't. But here's the question and the challenge that I offer you, and it is both. And for me, it's often a challenge too, is what if, choose this perspective, what if you're doing everything right? And the second piece, What if the universe isn't against you? And I know that makes no sense. If you look at it with your physical eyes, it won't. But I'm not talking about an observation. I'm talking about a creation. What do I mean by that? A creative statement, a decision, choosing to state a truth that you believe to be true, even though your physical eyes, your five senses, tell you the exact opposite. And my offering to you is, in those times when without any effort at all, you can say, why is everyone, why is the universe against me, why is God against me, why is against source, pick your label. I suggest to you to offer this question. What if the universe isn't against me? You know, and as I said, when we're kind of in those up days, we can readily say that. But I'm not talking about those up days. I'm talking about those days when it's hard to drag your butt out of bed and get it through the day. What if the universe isn't against you? Choose that question instead. And sometimes that question, and really it's kind of neat because that question is actually a very real creative statement, right? Sometimes, you make that creative question, if you will, once a day. Sometimes you make it 1,000 times a day. But here's what I know to be true. It's true. The universe isn't against you. The universe isn't against me. Even though it may seem that way, it's not. And I find as we can hold on to that creative question, I like that. That sounds cool. That creative question of what if the universe isn't against me, I find it really helps. I know it really helps me to settle into, okay, I know it doesn't look it, but I'm just going to keep on keeping on, and I know it will turn. I don't have to make it turn. I know it will turn because the universe isn't against me. Everyone, everything isn't against me. And I find as you hold on to that, first of all, I find it provides us a great deal of peace, if you will, right, of almost assurance, and in a crazy kind of way, getting to the creative piece of it, I find it often is a wonderful instigator to have things turn, and then your physical world starts to reflect your creative question. Okay, again, not saying for 1 second this is easy, but, I find that anything worth having isn't easy getting. My name is Russ Littau. The series is called Ask the Spirituality Experts. If you go to our website at www.healingcenter.ca, center spelled CENTER.ca, and you scroll down on the main page, you'll see a graphic there called Ask the Experts. You can go there and see archives of our video programs, our radio shows like this one, some audio downloads and things like that. Plus, you can always send us your question, because you just may be the topic for our next episode of Ask the Expert. Have a great day. You have been listening to another episode of Ask the Expert with Russ Littau, founder of the Healing Center and Convergence Reiki. If you would like more information about what we have to offer, archives of our radio and our TV shows, visit our home website at www.healingcenter.ca, and that's center spelled CENTER.ca. If you wish to visit our Ask the Experts webpage, if you just scroll down about halfway on the main page of the Healing Center website, you'll see a link to Ask the Experts. There you can get access to the archives of our programs, and just as importantly, and even more importantly, there you can submit your questions, your comments, your frustrations, or a suggestion for a topic, and you just may find yourself being the topic of an episode of Ask the Experts.